Give you guys a minute to get in here before we get started. Man, come on in, family. Come on in. We going in today. We going in. What's up, Carter Brown? Carter Brown, what state are you calling from, if you don't mind me asking? Are you chiming in from? What's up, Scott? Scorpio lady, what's up with you? Big Sky, what's up? What's up? Virginia. I was out in Virginia back in 95. Back in 95. You know, a Scorpio lady, I'm gonna talk about that. Man, I think something was like trying to attack me. What's up, babe? What's up, Kate? Big Sky, you're in Arizona, huh? Cool. Man, fam, we're gonna go and get started. Man, on behalf of my mother-in-law, man, may God bless each and every one of you that come on this live. Um, Catch this video live. Those of you catch it on replay on YouTube, may God bless you as well. Man, family, if you don't mind, I want to just say one quick prayer. You know what I mean? I just want to say a quick, I can't even talk. You know what I mean? I just want to say a quick prayer, if you don't mind. Man, dear Father, we thank you for this time. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for this internet. We thank you for the devices that we have so that we may connect with each other, that we may share our love and our energy with each other, our knowledge and the wisdom that you've given us. Ask that you just continue to draw us closer together, draw us closer until you have your way in our lives. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Man, family, I don't know what's going on the last couple of days. Man, I woke up this morning. Yesterday, I was out of it. What's up, Jose? I was so out of it yesterday, so weak. And it's just the chills and everything just weak, right? And so, man, last night I went to bed and I was just sleeping. Man, the pillows were all soaking wet. Man, just shirt, everything was soaking wet. And I thought, man, okay, whatever it was that I had, I sweated it out, right? Woke up this morning super early and it's like, man, I felt alive. I didn't feel 100%, but I felt a lot better. You know, it's like, okay, man, I got to get up and I got to do a live. What's up, Thomas? I got to do a live. You know what I mean? And so I did the live this morning. And man, family, after I did the live, I was sitting there and I was talking to the queen and we were just chopping it up and just going over some of the messages that you guys were commenting on during the live. And out of nowhere, she was talking to me about what I was going to talk about on the live tonight. And it's like, man, I don't feel right. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, like, man, I feel like I got chills. I'm getting the chills again. And she's like, no. And she came and she felt, she's like, you're not hot. And I was like, but I don't know. I feel like I got the chills, like I'm sick, like something's bothering me, something's wrong. And so, like 5 minutes later, she came, she's like, oh my God, you're hot. You're like really hot. And I was like, man, I told you, I'm like, something's wrong, you know? And man, family, I just felt weak all over again. I felt completely weak all over again. And it's like, man, what is it's attacking me? You know what I mean? And it's about 3 o'clock now. It's like, you know what? Because we were just talking about the live and how we're going to go in on the live today, is like, you know what? Something doesn't want me to do the live. Something does not want me to do the live. They didn't want me to do the live yesterday, but I'd be damn if this is going to stop us today. You know what I mean? I was like, babe, I just need you to pray over me. Stop talking. I just need you to pray over me. Man, she prayed over me. She went and got some sage and started, you know, going up and down over me and just praying over me. And man, family, for all of you that are on, for that's been praying over us and keeping us in your thoughts and prayers, man, I thank you for that. You know, no, I didn't have any crystals that broke this time. I did not have any crystals that broke this time. And we're going to talk about some of that. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about some of that. Okay. Today we're talking about trust and faith in humanity. You know, I was on the live earlier today, and it's weird because somebody at the end asked, "Can we talk about trust trust issues. And somebody else asked, can we talk about faith and humanity? And they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. What's up, Sean's workouts? Faith and trust in humanity goes hand in hand. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, it's going to get deep, and it is what it is. You know what I mean, man? So years ago, I was a single parent in LA, and I'll back up even further than that. I was a little kid, about maybe 8, 9 years old, and was sitting in church. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, man, and they were like, everything's hellfire. Everything is hellfire and brimstones. You know what I mean? If you fart wrong, you going to hell. You know what I mean? Everything was a sin, you know? And so we're sitting in church one day, and this lady out of nowhere came in, and all the kids were sitting in the back, and we're on the last row of the church. And I'm always sitting by the aisle. Always sat by the aisle because I always want to see everything going on, right? And so I'm sitting by the aisle, and all the other kids just on the same row. And so this lady comes in out of nowhere, and the bishop is up preaching. And the bishop is like the biggest you could get in a church organization, right? He has a bunch of churches up underneath him. And this guy gets up and he's preaching. He's just going, and yeah, you know, he's just doing it, right? He's feeling himself. He's really on one, right? And so he's going all in, right? And the church is shouting and just, you know, everybody's up jumping and speaking in tongues and just, you know, carrying on, right? And they just really feeling his vibe. They really feeling his energy, right? And this lady comes in out of nowhere, and she walks up to the front while this guy's preaching, and she starts cussing him out in front of everybody. And this is back in the 70s. And again, everything was hell. And so right then at that moment, I realized a lot of stuff about church. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. We're talking about trust, and we're talking about faith in humanity. And at that moment, I realized that a lot of the stuff that these people were talking about was full of shit. Stay with me. Because we had been programmed to believe that, man, you can't disrespect the house of God like that. If you disrespect the house of God like that, man, the windows of heaven was going to open up and God was going to strike your ass down with lightning. That's what they had been telling us. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. And so, man, the windows of heaven didn't open up. Wasn't no lightning, wasn't no thunder, and wasn't none of that crap going on. This lady walked up to in front of the bishop while he was up preaching and just commenced to cussing him out in front of everybody. And then turned and had a few choice words for everybody in the church, right? And so all the mothers of the church, all the deacons and all the evangelists and all the other ministers get up, and they coming around, they surround this lady, right? And they're praying for her. And I'm standing in the back, and I'm just like, you know, me and all the other kids, we sit back there just busting up laughing. Like, we waiting for this woman to get struck down with lightning. We know she going to hell. If we could sit in church and play, and this lady had the audacity to come up in church and cuss the preacher out, the man of God, the highest person you would get in this organization, she didn't just cuss him out. She went the blank off on this guy, right? And then cussed out all the older women, the mothers of the church. And so we sitting there, and to little kids, oh, that's funny, because there's this woman saying stuff we wished we could say. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And so they commenced circling up around her, and she dropped, laid down, right? And so she's kicking and flailing. This is talking about true exorcist. This was a true exorcist. You know what I mean? And so they're all, you know, circling around this lady, and she's kicking and screaming, the devil is God. I love you, Satan. Satan is my father, and Satan is God, and Lucifer is God. And she said all this wild shit, right? And we standing in the back just like, oh my gosh, this lady's wigging out. We just on one, right? And so all these women, the ushers, they come back to us and they start telling us to plead the blood of Jesus. You got to say Jesus' name over and over and over and over. If you didn't, then those evil spirits and that lady was going to get out and get on y'all. And again, some more bullshit that they was telling us, right? Stay with me, we're going somewhere. And so, man, we coming back, and I understand why they were saying it, but it was still bullshit, okay? And so, the kids, my siblings and the other kids, they're over there, the blood of Jesus, man, they're spitting and snotting and crying, just scared. And I'm sitting there just like smiling, just like, oh, this is so wild, you know, I'm just on one, right? I'm just on one, just tripping, just excited about this, right? And so she just laying there and she go quiet for a little bit. I'm talking about trust and faith in humanity. Stay with me. This lady's kicking and screaming, just cussing everybody out, talking about how the devil is God and she loves Satan and Lucifer is God and whoop with the whoop and just all this crazy stuff. It was crazy to us because you couldn't get any more demonic than that. You couldn't get any more satanic than that. You know what I mean? You couldn't get any more blasphemous in church than that. You know what I mean? If anybody was going to go to hell right then there, it should have been this lady, according to all the stuff that they spewed to us, according to all the programming that they was giving us. This lady deserved to go straight to hell. You know what I mean? She done messed up the church, done cussed out the man of God, done cussed out all these people in the church of God. If anybody deserved to go to hell, it should be this lady, according to all of the programming that they gave us. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. So I'm sitting there and I'm just tripping out, right? And she'll get quiet for a minute and then she just starts spinning her head again. Now Satan is gone. Satan, and she just on one, right? Her voice changing and everything. And it was just weird. It's just tripping me out, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm just smiling, just looking, just like in awe, because I never experienced anything like this. Stay with me. And I kid you not, family. I kid you not. This little green entity, about 2 feet tall, got up and came out of this lady. It was like translucent in colors, like you could see through it, right? But it was like a greenish silhouette. And it was walking down the aisle. And I'm tripping. I'm wigging out now. Because how come none of these people could see this? I'm just this kid. Stay with me. How come this anointed man of God, this bishop who has churches up underneath him, how come he couldn't see this? How come all these other preachers that had their own church, these district elders and these mothers of the church, all these people that were saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, water baptized, running for the Lord, laying hands on people and doing all this others, how come none of these people could see this entity get up and walk out of this lady? And so I'm tripping because I'm like, wait a minute, do y'all not see this? How come ain't nobody talking about this? How come ain't nobody addressing this thing walking down the aisle? Y'all still focus on the lady. How come y'all ain't talking about this? And this green entity walked down the aisle, got to right where I was at. And I'm just stuck, just staring at it, right? And it got right to where I was at. And turned and looked at me. And the look on his face was like, I can't believe you see me. And I'm looking at it like, man, why are you staring at me? And our eyes are locked. I can't believe nobody else in the whole church, all these holy rollers, all these sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, water baptized people, all these people professing to go to heaven and how anointed and called they are. All these people who's putting everybody else in hell. All these other people who's running for the Lord, who've been called and preaching and teaching for 30, 40, 50 years. Ain't none of these people acknowledging or seeing this thing. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And this thing is locked eyes with me. And then he just turned and walked out the church. And nobody in the church saw it. I'm like, okay, God. All right. That's when I really started having a different look, a different perspective of religious people. I don't care about all the stuff you spew, all the yak talking you do. It's a whole lot of people talking. And they really ain't living nothing. And it's a trip because my grandmother was one of the mothers in the church. Stay with me. My grandmother, man, she embodied God. Stay with me. If anybody was a godly person, it was my grandmother. If anybody symbolized love and compassion, it was my grandmother. If anybody was a walking Bible, it was my grandmother. My grandmother, we could be doing some bad shit at school. And I was just talking to my queen and mom about this earlier. We could be doing some foul shit at school, at home. And God would give my grandmother a vision. God would give my grandmother a dream. And she would come pick us up. And how come you doing this, that? And she would just run down the list of all the stuff we were doing. All the stuff that we just did. There's no way she could have known this, but God gave her a revelation. God had to show it to her. But yet my grandmother didn't see this evil spirit or this entity walk up out of this lady. Nobody else in the church saw it. Stay with me. And so that was the first time I started looking at this. Okay, God, there's got to be something different about having a relationship with you. Why was I seeing that? Why was I the one that saw that? Why did I see that? How come nobody else paid attention to that? How come nobody else could see that? We're talking about trust and faith in humanity. Stay with me. I'm just laying the foundation. We're going to talk about trust and laying faith in humanity, but we're going to give you a totally different perspective today, okay, of both of those phrases of trust and faith in humanity. We're just going to give you a totally different look at it, okay? So years later, I'm a single parent, 96, got 2 kids down in LA, San Pedro at the time, and I've never really been into church. Stay with me. I've been in church, but not ever since that incident as a kid. Me and God just had a totally different relationship. It wasn't about church to me. Stay with me. I would go to church, but it wasn't about church to me. Okay? It was different. And so, 96, I'm raising my 2 kids by myself. And I'm in the Air Force and I'm struggling financially. And hear God tell me, man, it's Wednesday night. You need to go Bible study. Bible study is 20 Faithful Central is the name of the church I was going to with Bishop Omer. Huge church in LA. And it was like, you need to go to church. And I was like, man, God, I ain't got the gas to get to church. And God was like, I didn't ask you that. We're talking about faith. We're talking about trust. He said, get in your car and go to church. And I said, God, I really don't have the gas to get there. He said, do you trust me? Because the first thing went through my mind was, man, I'm going to get stranded. I'm going to run out of gas because to get to church is like 20 something miles away. Again, I lived in San Pedro. The church was in Inglewood, 22, 23 miles away. And then I had to get back. And it's like, God, I ain't got the gas. And back then, gas was only 99 cents. And I had a little Honda Civic. And it's like, God, I'm going to get stranded. And I'm not trying to get stranded on the side of the road in LA with my kids. He said, oh, you don't really trust me like you say you do. And so when God challenged me like that, it's like, put up or shut up. Either you trust me or you don't. Stop talking all the yeah. If you trust me, get your kids up, get your ass in the car like I told you to, and go to church. Stay with me. So I get the kids. We get in the car. And we're going down Pacific Avenue in LA, in San Pedro. And it's an expressway. You know what I mean? You go like 45 miles per hour on this road. And so we're flying down. And I ain't got no gas. You know what I mean? I'm on fumes. But I'm trusting God. Stay with me. Out of my peripheral, and I don't even know how I saw it. Out of my peripheral, I saw something flying in the air. And I don't even know what it was about it, but just something just dragged me to just pull over to the side of the road. I just pulled over to the side, opened up the door, and got out. I'm on my way to church. No gas. But I'm just doing what I was told to do. And as soon as I stood up out of the car, the wind shifted. And this $20 bill came straight to my foot. I don't even know how I saw the 20 flying in the air out of my peripheral, going 45 miles per hour. I just trusted and pulled over, and the wind shifted and brought it back to my foot. And that was such a blessing to me. It was like, wow, man, I could put $10 in gas. And back then I was taking the kids to McDonald's. I didn't know any better. You know what I mean? And so I got them Happy Meals at McDonald's on the way to church. And man, we was all happy after that. You know what I mean? Man, after that, we went to Randy's Donut and got a donut, came home after church. You know what I mean? We was cool. God just showed me something. Stay with me. We're talking about trust. Another time, God said, Elijah, get up and go to church. Sunday night. I said, God, I ain't got the gas to go to church. I just got enough to get to work tomorrow morning. You asking too much. I went to church earlier this morning. You want me to turn around and get the kids? We don't never go at nighttime. Not on Sunday night. You want me to turn around and go back tonight? I ain't got the gas. And God was like, do you trust me? It's like, God, you know I trust you. He said, no, you don't. You're lying. You want to trust me, but you don't trust me. And I said, God, how can you say that? He said, because if you trusted me, you wouldn't be having this conversation with me. You'd be getting your kids ready and getting in your car and driving to church. You're only debating this with me and having this conversation because you don't trust me. I'm like, oh, man. I hate when God has these conversations with me and he puts me on blast like that, right? I was like, okay, God. I don't know why I got to go to church. I don't know why he's telling me to get in the car and then drive all the way to drive all the way to Inglewood again for church again. Let's get in the car, get the kids, and we'll go to church. Man, great time at church. And so I'm sitting there, church is over. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, God, you didn't give me no $20 like you did last time. You know what I mean? I don't know how I was on fumes coming out here. You knew my light was on, my empty light was on when I got in the car. I don't even know how I made it here empty. I ain't got no money. Ain't nobody gave me no money. How the heck am I gonna leave? I know you didn't bring me this far for nothing. Oh, the service was great, but I need a hookup. The service was great, but they ain't doing nothing for me if I can't get back home. This elderly lady came up to me and she gave me a hug. And she said, honey, I don't know why, but I hear the Spirit telling me to give this to you. And she gave me $20. And all I could do was sit there and start smiling as the tears ran down my eyes. Trust. See, so often, so many of us, man, when something happened, we expect it to happen that way all the time. And so when I got in the car and I was driving to church, I was expecting God to hook me up the way he did last time. Oh, he just dropped $20 at my foot last time. I'm looking, I'm paying attention because I'm expecting $20, $100, $50. Man, God, you could just give me $10. You know what I mean? I'm desperate. Just give me $10 and I'm cool. But he didn't hook me up that way. I got all the way to church and the service is over. And I'm still sitting there empty, not knowing how I'm going to get out. And he brought somebody up to me and gave me 20. Why am I sharing that? Because family, and I'm going to say this and I mean this with every fiber of my being. With every fiber of my being. We don't trust people. We have trust issues because we don't trust God. We have trust issues. We don't trust people. We don't trust humanity because we haven't learned to trust our intuition. And I know that's going to piss some people off. And what God had to show me and what he's been showing me throughout the years is, Elijah, I'm not asking you to trust other people. Every time you put your trust in other people, you get your heart broke. Every time you put your trust in all these other things, you get frustrated, you get miserable, you get lonely, and you get hurt. Case in point. In 91, 90. I was in Montana, and I was part of this Church of God in Christ Church. And I was like the pastor's right-hand man for a while. What's up, Raymond? And this other family moved into church. It's a big church, right? And this guy moved into the church and with his wife, kids, family. And something wasn't right about this guy, though. You know what I mean? And I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know the guy. You know what I mean? Seemed like a cool person. You know what I mean? I took him out fishing, and man, we had a blast. You know what I mean? But there was like something about my spirit. It just like, Understand. Everything is energy. You guys hear me say that all the time. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. The great majority of us, we don't see it as that. What am I saying? We see people for how they look. We see people for how they dress. We see people for how they present themselves to us. We see people based on their titles, based on their positions, based on their status. I've learned that every one of us has a frequency that we operate on, and it's like our own DNA. It's like our own fingerprints. Our fingerprints, 8 billion people walking the planet. Everybody's fingerprint is unique to them. 8 billion people walking the planet, and our frequency is unique to each and every one of us. Hey, babe, can you hand me that other phone, please? My other phone? I'm sorry. And so we all have different frequencies. And those frequencies are unique to us. Thank you. We all have different, you know what I mean? Some people have the ability to see that frequency. We're talking about trust. We're talking about faith in humanity. And so some people, they have the ability to see people's frequency. They see the frequency. They see your energy. They see your aura. You don't even have to open your mouth. And they see your energy. There's some people, man, you don't even have to open your mouth or say anything. You don't even have to be around them. They smell your energy. They smell it. It has a unique fragrance or stench to them. Some people have the ability to taste frequency. And so it's like you coming around, they get this taste, this distinct taste in their mouth. I have the ability, I can feel people's energy. I feel your energy. There's people that I communicate with and that I give sessions with in the United Kingdom, and I can feel their energy before we even get on the phone. People in different states that I communicate with, man, I feel their energy. In Australia and all over the place, and I'm able to respond to them. I'm able to reach out to them because I feel their energy. I feel their pain. I feel their brokenness. I feel their hurt. I feel their frequency. Stay with me. Some people have the ability to hear frequency. To hear frequency. This is a young lady that I used to work with a lot. We used to do readings together, and she was the first person I'd ever heard of that had the ability to hear frequency. And I'm bringing my phone real quick. She was getting ready to do a reading for me once, and she was talking about this, and I recorded it. And this lady, Scorpio lady, don't be scared. She said that, what's it? No, it's not playing. My phone won't even act right so I could play it. I'm at the, let's see. And so this lady had the ability to hear energy. And She had the ability to hear my energy. And that blew me away because I'd never heard that before. It's not even allowing me to play it on here. I'm gonna have to grab it and put it up from this phone that I'm recording on onto this other phone. And I'll put it up on the live tomorrow for you guys so you guys can hear this. But it was such a beautiful sound. You know, stay with me. And why am I talking about this frequency and this energy stuff? Family, you cannot fake your energy. You can't fake energy. You can't fake your frequency. You can bullshit all you want to. You can lie and deceive people all you want to with your words. You can get all made up, all dolled up, all suited and booted you want to, walk around $1 million bag on, all that stuff. And your energy is going to be your energy regardless. You could be bummy as hell, but your energy is going to be your energy regardless. You can't hide your energy. You can't fake the funk when it comes to your energy. You can sit there and look somebody eye to eye and be lying to them, be deceiving them. But you can't hide your energy. And so often what we as humanity do, what we've done, we've stopped looking at people's energy. We've stopped connecting with people energetically. Either through taste, smell, touch, feeling, hearing, whatever. We've stopped connecting with people energetically. And now we buy into the bullshit they spew. We want to believe them. And every time we believe them, we get led astray. Every time we want to believe them, we get abused. We get dogged out. We get taken advantage of. We get our heart broke. We get disappointed. And so now we don't trust people anymore. And we don't trust them because they keep lying to us. We don't trust them because they keep dogging us out, because they keep misleading us. They couldn't mislead you had you been connected to them or felt their energy in the first place. Oh, we're about to get rough right now. We're quick to blame everybody else for being fucking crooks. People are fucking liars and thieves and whoop-de-whoop-doo, and we're blasting everybody for being the way they are. Wait a fucking minute. How come you couldn't recognize that from the gate? Ain't nothing about them changed. That's the true nature. But because you wasn't connected, and because you wasn't paying attention the way you supposed to, and because you was listening with your ears and looking with your eyes, or because you was lusting with your flesh, now you got led astray. Now you got hoodwinked. And now you want to get pissed off and be a fucking victim. That's your fucking fault. How are you going to get mad at them for being them? Yeah, they lied to you. But you know what? Had you tapped into your intuition, had you believed in your intuition, had you paid attention to your intuition, you would have never believed the shit they told you. You would have never followed that fucking crap they told you to do. You would have never got hooked up with them in the first place. Had you trusted your intuition, you wouldn't have got hurt. Case closed. But because you don't trust your intuition, you're listening to all this bullshit. Because you don't trust your intuition, man, you believe in everything all these people do. You want to believe them. You want to believe them. Oh, I'm just a trusting, good natured person. I want to have faith in humanity. And I don't have no fucking faith in humanity. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. My faith is in God. My faith is in my intuition. That's it. That's it. And what do I mean by that? I believe that people are going to be people. People are going to be people. And that's all that I have. I have no other expectations on people other than people are going to be people. Good or bad, people are going to be people. when I look at their energy, when I feel their energy, it's like, yeah, no, you're not the one. But it took me a long time to get there. It took me a while to get there. That's why I've gone through the relationships that I did. That's why God had to keep beating me in the head of, do I trust him? Why? Because I had to learn through all these failed relationships, through all these failed opportunities, and all this other crap that's happened in my life. God had to show me, Elijah, why are you mad at them? Elijah, if you just listen to yourself, if you just trusted your own intuition, if you just trusted me, you wouldn't be in this situation. Had you just trusted your gut instinct, you wouldn't have been in that situation. All of these people are hurting you and doing this stuff to you. Why? So that you can learn to shut the fuck up and tap into your own intuition. So that you can learn to shut the fuck and stop listening to people with your ears. Stop looking at people with your natural eyes. You can learn to start seeing and hearing and feeling spiritually with your intuition. With your intuition. And when you operate with your intuition, you can't be deceived. You can't be deceived. So why do you keep getting mad at these people? They're doing what people do. Elijah, you say you trust me. If you trust me, then you know that everything is always working out for you. And I'm like, God, how the hell is this working out for me? And I'm going down the list of all these people that's hurt me. I'm going down the list, all these people that's taking advantage of me. I'm going down the list and I was like, man, when a motherfucker didn't care, life was so much easier. When a motherfucker didn't give a fuck about anybody, man, life flowed a whole lot easier for me. Now that I'm being loving, now that I'm trying to live right, now everybody want to dog me the fuck out. Now everybody want to play fucking games. And God was like, Elijah, why are you sitting there crying? Why are you acting like a spoiled brat? No, you're going through the hell that you're going through. Why? Because I'm trying to teach you to trust your intuition. I'm trying to teach you that you really don't trust me. I can't get you to understand that. You talk the talk about you trusting me, but you really don't trust me. Because if you trust me, you wouldn't be looking at these people with your natural eyes. You wouldn't be looking at these people or listening to these people with your natural ears. You would be listening and feeling them with your intuition, with your energy, with your frequency. I'm talking about trust, faith in humanity. The only way that you're going to get to that point, family, is you got to start trusting yourself. And the truth is, the great majority of us do not trust ourselves. We know we're going to fuck some shit up. We know we're going to mess some shit up. So many of us, we want to be good people. We talk the talk of being good people. And that's all it is. It's just rhetoric. It's just mouth service. Just lip service. When do we get to know us? When do we get to the point to where we sit back and say, man, all right, I keep making these same mistakes. I keep getting business partners and they keep doing this, and this, and that. What's up, Karen? I keep getting in relationships and these people are doing this, and that. I keep trusting this business person. I keep trusting this and this and that, and I keep getting dogged out and we'll do the. I'm not a victim. So something has to be wrong with my perception. Something has to be wrong with the technique that I'm using. What's wrong with me that I keep having to go through these same situations over and over and over? What am I missing? I'm not using my intuition. I'm not using the technique. I'm not using the radar that I came into this world with. My natural radar. My natural bullshit detector. My natural frequency detector. Because I think I know so much up here. Because I think I'm so dang smart. Because I think I got it all figured out. And so we keep going through this crap. We keep getting hurt. We keep getting let down and disappointed. Because God is getting you to get to the point, it's like, dude, when are you going to stop playing games? When are you going to learn to trust you? When are you going to learn to tap into your own frequency? When are you going to learn to tap into your greatest version of yourself? Your intuition. Your intuition. You so woke, but you're making boneheaded decisions. You so fucking woke, but you don't trust you. You so fucking woke, but you keep getting used and dogged the fuck out. You keep getting your heart broke. You keep getting disappointed. You keep getting let down. You keep getting lied to. When are you going to grow up? When are you going to grow up? See, because the longer you stay the way you are, the longer you stay disconnected from your intuition, the harder you become in life. What am I saying? You become tainted. You become tainted. You become jaded. You become distrusting. You become callous. You become unloving, uncaring. You're no longer compassionate because you've been hurt so long. You've been hurt by too many people. And you can't even blame them for hurting you. You can't even blame them for doing what they did to you. Because the truth is, all they were trying to get you to understand, yeah, they're trying to get over on you. But had you been tapped into your intuition in the first place, no one could have ever gotten over on you. And so everybody that's dogged you out was another lesson for you to learn to go within. Was another opportunity for you to learn to go into your intuition and to tap into your intuition and start operating on a higher frequency, your true frequency. That Christ consciousness that you hear people talking about, the God consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, whatever you want to call it. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. When I say that I don't put faith in humanity, my faith in humanity goes only as far as humans are going to be humans. That's it. That's it. My faith is not in humans. My faith is not in humans. My faith is in our intuition. My faith is in our spiritual beings. Because humans, we're going to do some stupid shit. Because that's our nature. Because that's ego-led. And as long as something is led by the fucking ego, they're going to do some shiesty ass shit. They're going to do some manipulative shit. They're going to do some destructive shit. They're going to do some hurtful shit. But once we tap into our intuition, once we become spiritual beings, once our spiritual being is allowed to run our life, once we start operating on that spiritual level, then our greater good arises. Our true nature is revealed. Our true power is revealed. Our true purpose is revealed. And when we tap into that, now we can bring healing into the world. Now we can bring hope and compassion, understanding, insight, healing into a world that needs it. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. I'm not telling you not to trust humanity. Carter Brown, ego is the real Satan. Man, I've done a video on that. I'm gonna have to do another one talking about that. That's real talk right there. We have to grow up. We have to understand that as long as you're operating in your ego, in your logic, you'll never, ever reach your full potential. You'll never tap into your power, your superhero power, if you will. You never will. As long as you keep operating or allowing your ego to run your life, you're going to keep getting hurt. You're going to keep getting dogged out. You're going to become bitter and distrusting and hateful and become a separatist to where you don't want to be around nobody. Fuck the world. Everybody's bad. Everybody's going to hell and all this other crazy shit. You know what I mean? We have to grow up. When I say grow up, I'm saying we have to get to the point where we stop dealing with this fucking logic bullshit. Logic has got us fucked up. Logic is ego. Because you think you learned some shit now, you think you're intelligent now, and you completely missed it. Because intuition ain't got shit to do with logic. And that's what God had to show me when he told me the first time, Elijah, get your kids in the car and drive 20 something miles to church. I know you're fucking empty. That's fucking illogical. That does not make any fucking sense. At all. Who is going to drive 20 something fucking miles with their kids and not have no way to put gas in the car and knowing they're empty? That's not logical. That's not even practical. Intuition isn't about being logical. Intuition has nothing to do with practicalities or common sense. Intuition is about being tapped into God, infinite power, infinite source, infinite wisdom. There's no way in the hell that I could have known that out of my peripheral view, I was going to see this $20 bill flying, going 45 miles per hour. And when I got out the car, it was going to come flying right up to my feet. There's no way in hell that I could have known that. My intuition told me, do this. And because I followed my intuition and went against my logic, my fear was, man, I'm going to get stranded. My fear said, oh, hell no, this don't even make no damn sense. I'm not doing no stupid stuff like that. I'm not taking no chance like that. And what if the car break down on the freeway and I got my baby girl and my baby son in the car and what do? That's logic. That's ego. Keeps us fucking trapped. Keeps us fucking powerless. The second time when he told me to go. And I'm sitting at the church. And I'm like, all right, guy, man, you brought me out here. Because it wasn't fucking logical for me to get out here. I was on fumes when I got in the car. My red light was already on. That doesn't make sense. That's not wise to get in a car empty and have to go 20 something miles and not have any gas or money to get gas in the car. That's not wise. And most people are stuck in their fucking ego on what's wise and what's not wise. And we can't do shit because we think we so fucking woke. We think we so fucking wise. And God is not asking us to be wise up here. He's telling us, man, trust me, be spiritual. Spiritual has nothing to do with man-made logic. Being spiritual has nothing to do with quote-unquote common sense. And when you really trust God, he's going to test you. He's going to see how far do you really trust him. Same thing with Peter. Jesus, quote unquote, was on the water. And Jesus told Peter, come on out here. You big and bad. You want to walk out here on water? Come on. Walking on water doesn't seem to make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical. And again, when I say grow, we got to get out of the fucking ego. We got to get out of our fucking logic. Because our logic will always have us trapped. Our logic will always have us stuck. Be a prisoner of our own fucking intelligence. And it's not fucking intelligence. We have to grow up. And by growing up, here's the trick. In order for us to grow up, we have to go deep within. That's the only way to grow up, is to go deep within and tap into who you really are. Tap into who you really are. And once you learn who you really are, man, you know what you're capable of. You know what's possible. You know your power. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to stop playing games. And so many of us, we talk the talk. Man, we could tell you all the deep thinkers, these great philosophers, you know what I mean? We could just spew so much stuff back to you. We could regurgitate so much stuff. And none of it has had the ability to transform our lives. None of it has had the ability to change our lives. It's great knowledge, but it's fucking useless to change your fucking life. We have to grow up. We didn't come here just to be able to spew out some shit that other people spoke on. We came here to grow and to heal and to remember who we are. And who we are has nothing to do with regurgitating some shit some philosopher said 100 years ago or 500 years ago. We have to grow up. Trust. Do you trust God? And again, don't get caught up in fucking religion. I'm not talking about religion. I don't do religion. We have to trust the process. Whether you call God source, whether you call God infinite love, infinite into wisdom, knowledge, understanding, whatever, it don't matter. The Most High, none of that stuff. Those are just names. Those are just labels. They're just labels. Whatever you call it. Whether you call it the force, whether you call it chi, whether you call it prana, whatever. Energy, whatever you call it. That's not important. What's important? Trust the process. Go with the flow. And when I say go with the flow, again, understand, I'm not talking about the flow of your logical fucking thinking. Because that's what we always do. And then we always find ourselves in trouble. Because we're going with the flow. This is what I've always done. This is what I always do. And shit ain't never fucking worked out for you. And you still keep doing the same stupid shit. And then you get mad and frustrated. Talking about, well, I'm going with the flow. And man, I prayed to God and we'll do. You're not tapping into infinite wisdom. You're not tapping into God. You can sit here and say all you want to, yeah, to God logically, don't mean you're connected to God. Just because you sit there spewing out some stuff with your mouth, don't mean you got a connection with God. Just because you spewing some stuff out with your mouth or with your mind does not mean you're tapped into infinite power, infinite wisdom. Understand, your ego is the greatest fucking distraction you have. Your ego has never been your friend. Your ego has always been your fucking enemy. Your ego has always been your enemy. It's never been your friend. It's never looked out for you. It's never looked out for you. So you sitting there talking about you going with the flow, but you're going with the flow of your fucking ego. You just allow your ego to drag you around like you're a fucking slave in chains. Like you ain't got no power. Your ego tell you to go left, you go left. Your ego tell you to go right, and you go right. Your ego tell you to get on all fours and bark like a dog. You get on all fours and start bow wow and all that other stupid shit. We become fucking slaves to our ego. Why? Because we don't know who we are. Because we've never tapped into our intuition. I've said this before. Our gut. That's where our spirit dwells. That's where we hear the voice of God. That's where we get the phrase gut instinct. Your gut instinct will never lead you astray. Because that's your intuition. That's your intuition. But because you never really gave it the time, you never really connected with it, you don't trust it. You don't believe it because the religious people and science have made us believe that that's witchcraft and that's voodoo and that's all these other demonic bullshit things. You can't be a child of God and trusting your gut instinct. You can't be a child of God and being led by your intuition. You can't be a child of God and seeing people's aura and seeing people's energy and feeling people's energy and hearing people's energy. You can't be a child of God if you could do all those things. That's witchcraft. That's devil stuff. And that's what these ignorant ass people have led us to believe. And we bought those lies, hook, line, and sinker. So, we have to learn, and I say this all the time, you have to learn how to go deep within you. That's where God is at. That's where your gut is at. That's where your gut instinct is at. That's where your intuition is at. You have to go deep within you. We've been looking for it all up here in our fucking ego. All up here in our fucking brain. And so we're trying to figure this stuff out naturally. We're trying to figure all this crap out logically. We're trying to make sense of it all. And God is saying, you're a spiritual being. What the fuck are you doing? You're a spiritual being. What are you doing? Why are you trying to make sense of this logically? Why are you trying to make sense of this with your ego? And your ego is the one lying to you. Your ego is the one manipulating you. And yet it's your ego that you trust. And yet it's your ego that you believe. Because you won't take the time to go into yourself and communicate with God. Because you fail to understand that if you tap into God, you are God. That goes so far against our fucking religious beliefs. That goes so far against everything we fucking heard naturally. That's so arrogant, that's so satanic, and all this other bullshit that they led us to believe. And that's why we don't know who we are. We know everything about everything else. We could tell you about all the rings around the fucking planets. We could tell you about all the stars in the fucking galaxies. We could tell you about the sun, the moon. We could tell you all this shit of outer space. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and fucking thousands of years away from us. How the fuck can you speak of some shit fucking light years away from you and you can't tell me about your spiritual being? How the fuck can you talk about all this profound shit in space and up under the water, but you don't even know who the fuck you are? You don't even understand your real voice. You don't even understand your real power. You don't even understand energy and frequencies. But you want to get up here and talk about all this other shit. All this deep, profound shit. You want to get up and talk about the thermal laws of dynamics and woo-doo, but you don't even understand who the hell you are. And you're still looking at people as physical beings. You still look at people as physical beings. I get so many people that tell me, man, Elijah, you were such a trigger to me. Man, Elijah, man, you did this and you, man, I thought this about you and I thought this about you. I thought this about you. And there's all this bad shit. It's all this bad shit. It's all this twisted ass shit. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. I'm just being transparent with you guys right here. We're talking about trust, faith, and humanity. We're talking about the same thing. I've had so many people, and I share with you in the past. This lady I used to do readings with. She told me that she had an issue with me because, man, I reminded her of some guys. She had a heart to heart with me afterwards, and she told me for the longest she couldn't stand me and she had issues with me, and she didn't understand why. She didn't believe that I was a good person as I was. She didn't believe that I was cool like I was portraying myself to be. She didn't believe that I was this happy-go-lucky, loving, caring, compassionate guy like I portrayed myself to be. Because in her mind, her ego, her triggers, she had been raped by black guys. And I was a reminder to her of those black guys that raped her. And so when she saw me, she saw them. She knew it wasn't me, but she saw them just by looking at the color of my skin. There's a guy that I was talking to a group of people, and when I worked as a counselor in prison, and I was talking to this white guy, and he had issues with me, major issues with me. And it's like, what the fuck's going on with you? Have we ever met? Have I ever did you wrong, or have I ever written you up or anything? What's going on? And this dude came in the office, and I was like talking to him. I was like, man, what's going on? I went and got the building manager. It's like, dude, talk to me. What's going on? You know what I mean? Why are you coming at me sideways like this? And this white guy started crying. And now I'm shook. It's like, oh, fuck, here we go. I'm not ready for this shit. Stay with me. I wasn't ready for him to start crying. And he talked. And he said, you get up and you speak all elegant. You get up and you dress nice. You smell good. It's a grown man talking to me, and I'm standing there like, what the fuck? I'm ready to go left on him. You know what I mean? Because that's some weird shit. You don't tell another man you dress nice and you smell good. You know what I mean? Not from where I'm from. That's some weird shit. But I'm just letting let him talk. He said, but underneath all of that, you remind me of the guys that raped me when I was at San Quentin. See, he got locked. He'd been locked up for a number of years. And the first time he went to the penitentiary, 4 black dudes raped him. And so every time he saw me, and he saw me coming in, my Stacey Adams and my shirts and ties and my different colognes on, man, and I'm getting them talking, man, I'm just, and everybody's just eating this shit up. But he's triggered, and he's thinking about the guys that raped him. And nothing I could say, nothing I could do to take his mind off the fact that these 4 guys raped him. And I'm personalizing why he's tripping. I'm personalizing why he's going off on me. Why is this dude tripping? Same thing I was doing with this lady. Why are you coming at me sideways? I don't even know you like that. Because I'm personalizing it. And when they start talking, God had to show me there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you can do for these people. Just keep doing you. And I'm sharing this with you, family, because I need you to understand this. There's some people that's just triggered because they're fucking triggered. We're talking about trust still. There's some people that's fucking pissed off, angry, jealous, hateful, whatever. And they all want ankle like shit you say, ankle like shit you represent. For whatever the fucking reason. That ain't got shit to do with you. At all. That's their fucking issue. If you know that you're connected to God, if you know that you're connected to yourself, and you're operating within your spiritual being, you're connected to infinite power, infinite source, infinite wisdom. You're who you really are. All that you are is love, is compassion, is joy, is peace, is happiness. And these people can't understand that. These people can't see that. These people can't feel that because they see the physical you. They hear the physical you, the natural you. Because they don't have the ability to tap into their spiritual being and see you on a frequency level. They don't have the ability to tap into their energy and to see and feel and hear your energy. They see what you look like. They see what you do, but it don't mean shit to them. I don't care how much God they talk about. They're not tapped into infinite wisdom. They're not tapped into God the way they say they are. Because if they're tapped into God the way they say they are, they would see the real you. And it's not until they get tapped in that they're able to recognize the real you. That's why we don't trust people. We don't trust people because they're not tapped in. You can't be the best version of you not being tapped in to source. You can't be the best version of you not living by your intuition. See, as long as you're not living and operating by your intuition, you're liable and subject to do any fucking thing. I can't put no fucking trust in that. So the only trust that I have is that you're going to do human things. You're a human being and you're going to do human things. It is what it is. Once you get tapped into source, once you get tapped into that infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom, power, God, whatever you want to call it, it's like, okay, man, now I could trust you. Why? Because my energy, my frequency is resonating with your frequency. So I know that your intentions are right. I know that your intentions are pure. I know that you're God-led. Because what you're tapped into. Y'all trying to trust people that don't know who the fuck they are. Y'all trying to trust people that still operating in their fucking ego. And two, you still don't do what you want to do. But I don't trust anybody operating in their fucking ego. Because they're a fucking slave. And I don't care whether you like that term or not. Everybody operating by their ego is a fucking slave to their fucking ego. Whether their ego has them convinced that they're a narcissist, whether their ego has them convinced to be self-hating, self-sabotaging, or anywhere in that spectrum. From thinking they're all that to thinking they ain't shit. You can't trust anybody operating in the ego. You can't trust anybody a slave to their ego. This is why you keep getting hurt. This is why you keep getting disappointed. That's why you keep getting let down. So how do you get faith in humanity? How do you learn to start trusting? You have to trust God. You have to learn how to come within yourself. I say that all the time. You have to learn how to go within yourself and tap into who you really are. And you have to learn how to trust your intuition. That's the greatest version of you. Being spiritual on that level, you see the real in everybody else. You see their energy. You feel their energy. You smell, you taste their energy. And it won't lead you astray. It won't lie to you. It won't lie to you. Man, understand again, growing up is not getting to a certain age. Growing up has nothing to do with how much fucking education you have. Growing up has nothing to do with how much quote unquote fucking logic and insight and understanding or fucking degrees you got. That has nothing to do with growing up. Growing up is shedding all of that bullshit. Growing up is shedding all of the fucking logic, the insight, the understanding you think you got, the education you got, the religion you got, the politics you got, all that other bullshit. Growing up is shedding the fucking ego. Dismissing the ego and going into your intuition, going into your soul or your spirit, whatever you want to call it. That's growing up. That's growing up. That's the only way to grow up. Forgetting all the crap we've been programmed to believe. Remembering and reconnecting to who we really are. Let me say it again. Growing up is forgetting all this bullshit, this ego shit, and programming, and remembering who we are. And the trick, family, I was just talking to somebody in one of the comments the other day. None of this stuff is new to you. None of this stuff is new information to you. When you're hearing the truth and it's God-centered and it's directly from, it's not new to you. It's as though you're remembering this. It's as though, man, you're being reminded. It's like, I know this. You're not learning anything new from me. You're just being reminded. You're just remembering what you've forgotten. That's all this is. You're remembering. You're shedding all of this stupid shit. Ego. Logic. You're shedding that. And you're remembering the spiritual, the intuition. Isn't it amazing? That's the things that they don't teach us. They teach us to be so smart. They teach us to be so academic. They teach us to study and learn and regurgitate all these dead men, all their fucking thoughts and beliefs. They teach us all of this stupid shit that can't help us reach our full potential. But they never teach us how to trust our gut instinct. They never teach us how to go within and understand who we really are. They never teach us how to tap into infinite wisdom. And when you're tapped into infinite wisdom, when you're tapped into infinite knowledge, you're all knowing. You're all powerful. You're all loving. You're all compassionate. Man. Yeah, family. I hope I shared something with you guys that's helped you remember who you are. You know what I mean? That's helped remind you of what you've already known and what you've forgotten down through the years. You already know this stuff. You already know this stuff. You are all powerful. You are all knowing. You have infinite wisdom. You just don't remember it. You don't remember it. And the only way to remember it, again, you got to get out of your ego. You have to get out of your ego. Your ego doesn't want you going down into your soul. Because once you go down into your soul, you understand, I don't need my fucking ego. And your ego loses power over your life. And so your ego is going to fight with everything it has to keep you a slave to it. As long as people think that you need them, they got you right where they want you. As long as you're dependent on massa, you're always going to be a slave to massa. Once you tap into God, once you tap into your infinite power, infinite knowledge and wisdom, now I don't need fucking massa. I don't need no motherfucking body of that capacity. Motherfucking matter of fact, you need me. Stay with me. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about popping your collar, flexing, none of that stupid ego shit. It's about knowing who you are. Stop playing the fucking games and letting these people make you feel like you're less than. Like you don't have the power to change your circumstances. Like you don't have a voice. You don't have a voice because you don't believe you have a voice. You don't have the power because you don't believe that you have power. But once you tap into your soul, once you tap into infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom, man, you could just throw your hands back and you could relax, knowing that, man, shit's always working out for you. I don't give a fuck who come against me. I don't give a damn who's coming up with fucking hexes and all this other shit to try to stop us. I don't give a damn what you do, what you say, who you conspiring with, what you do. Man, I'm tapped into infinite power. Infinite power. You can't be stopped. You can't be stopped. It don't matter what they say. It don't matter how many people come against you. It don't matter how many curses that they try to put on you. You only buy into that bullshit because you don't know who you are. And the more you understand who you are, the more loving you become. The more you realize who you are, the more compassionate you become. The more you tap into who you are, the more giving you become. The more you tap into who you really are, the more peace and joy you have. But you have to tap in. You have to shed the fucking ego. It's never been your friend. It's a trip. This world, society, has always flipped everything upside down. Let me say it again. This world, this society has always flipped everything upside down. What am I saying? When you look at what they teach us, man, in order to get better, you got to go higher. No. In order to get better, you got to go deeper. In order to get wiser, more powerful, you don't go up, you don't go higher, you go lower. You go deep within you. They got you believing your head is the head, and that's the highest you can get. And that's all you're going to get. Because logic is finite. Go down into your soul. Tap into infinite power, infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge. Infinite. Infinite. It can't be numbered. It can't be measured. There's no distance. I shared this with you guys in the past. Man, your physical being can only do so much. Logic. But your soul, your energy, you extend that all over the world. your energy can be sent all around the world, different directions at the same time. Your soul can be in different places at the same time. Because you're infinite. You're omnipresent. That's God, omnipresent, omnipresent, all places at the same time. I've had people tell me that I appear to them in Australia. And at the same time, people tell me that I appear to them in England and help them with some stuff. Physically, I was still in California. Spiritually, I was gone. We are so much more powerful than we understand. If we really understood who we are on a spiritual level, we would never look at superheroes the same. At all. If you knew who you really were, you would never minimize yourself. Man, it's been a lot longer than I planned on. Man, I hope and pray that this has blessed you, that it's empowered you, that it's encouraged you. Man, we'll be back on again tomorrow at 6:30. If there's anything that you guys would like for us to talk about, man, leave a comment, put a comment on the YouTube replay or whatever, and we'll get that together. Family, I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your love. I appreciate you guys being with us. I know this has been long-winded. Man, I bless each and every one of you. I thank you for riding with us. Happy healing. Peace.